morning to the good people of Fanatics Live in America and beyond. Josh Safran here on a beautiful, it's actually not beautiful at all, a foggy, a treacherous Wednesday morning alongside Aaron Rothschild making his Talkin Slab debut. First and foremost, since I will not be here tomorrow, I wanted to say a very, very happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. I'm already in Thanksgiving mode, Aaron. This is a trap show for me, you know?
For the two of us, my friend.
Yeah.
This is -2.5 at home.
Right? We're playing the Bills next week.
When you don't feel like playing, if you will.
Oh, whoever this D-Row Dad character says, we look great, Aaron. I'm pretty excited about that.
Here we go. Great
Appreciate
start.
that, D-Row Dad. Whoever that may be out there.
A mysterious person.
Yeah, but nevertheless, my brain is already in Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And we got a full day of breaks to get to. It looks like we already got a couple things loaded up in the store. We got the triple-double, the half and half, the quick fix for the little low budget, if you will.
Not just any quick fix.
Yeah?
The quick fix 4.0.
Of course. Fourth time's the charm, as the people like to say. But nevertheless, it is a Thanksgiving-themed show today. We're going to be doing more Thanksgiving comparisons. I'm going to give you my top 5 worst things about Thanksgiving. Yesterday, we did the top 5 best things about Thanksgiving. So, shield your ears if you're close to the Safran family, potentially. We're going to rank the potential wild cards and look ahead to some football on Turkey Day tomorrow. But also, we had some breaking news in the MLB last night. Blake Snell, now a Los Angeles Dodger. We're going to get to all of that and more today on Talkin Slab with my guy, Aaron Rothschild. But first and foremost, we're going to talk a little NFL football. Aaron said, let's talk about the New York Knicks. I said, hold your horses, my friend.
It's the best team in the NBA right there.
All right. I don't know about that. I think the Celtics and Cavaliers would like a word with you.
The Cavs are frauds, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens there. But first things first, we have a ugly slate of games, I would say, on Turkey Day tomorrow.
I would say it's a 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10? Yeah.
It's a passable slate of games, but not exactly the slate of games you set out looking for.
It's 4 out of 10 with the last game of the day really propping up all three of those points.
That's the makeup, if you will.
So if you haven't looked at our games tomorrow, we got your town's in here. Good to see you in here. Bears Lions at 12:30. That one's not the worst. Giants Cowboys at 4:30. You blow that game up. I better have Creed in the halftime show again. And then Dolphins Packers at 8:20. It's gonna be probably 8:30. No, who's gonna watch that game? Why would they put the best game on at last? I have never watched the last game of Thanksgiving like all the way through. I'm not a napper, but after a day of turkey and wine, I always got to take a little snooze.
I can't help but feel like the sports books had something to do with this one. You want to butter up your clients.
I like this.
Maybe get a few more glasses of whiskey, a couple extra Miller Lights.
I like this.
Then they're more likely to throw on the Packers.
Oh yeah, a little tryptophan. That's the chemical in turkey that makes you sleepy. Seinfeld reference right there. But without further ado, Aaron, let's start with the first game of the day. We got the Bears against the Lions. It's a matchup straight out of Wizard of Oz over here. Lions laying 10, and we'll get to the betting angle in just a moment. But first things first, it is an NFC North battle.
Yeah. No, there's no guarantees.
Yes.
Especially in division, you've got, just two teams going at it in division on a holiday, more eyes. It's never as simple as you think it's going to be on these days.
Yeah, I'm with that.
That being said, the Lions, if there's any team, I do think that can make it as simple as, just the better team is going to go out and roll, it would be the Lions.
I hear you.
But I certainly don't think that's any kind of guarantee.
All right, well, let's take that for a moment. Before we look a little more at this game, we talked a lot about divisions yesterday. Me and Matty Ice kind of did a little what divisions are most up in the air. The division I said I was most interested in is the NFC North, because people look at the NFC North, they look at the Detroit Lions, and they act like the Lions have already won the Super Bowl. I think the Lions are a very good team, don't get me wrong. But they are 1 game up on the Vikings. They're 2 games up on the Packers. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that someone could jump up and bite them.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
But do you think the NFC North is done and dusted?
Do I think it's done and dusted? No, I think that's probably a stretch. But
Okay.
do I think it's almost done and dusted? Probably. I mean, there's only so much time left. And, tiebreakers are going to become a factor. And, who the Lions play that, really is going to, go knock them off this.
The NFC right North. That's what I'm saying here.
I mean, as much of a Sam Darnold lover as I am,
and he's a
a
huge Sam Darnold lover. It's shocking.
I'm a big time Sam Darnold guy, but I don't know if he can pull it off. And the Packers I love, but I'm not fully confident in Jordan Love's health right now.
Yeah,
and I think that's the part that scares me off the Packers a bit.
I hear you.
Is that he's still good, but he doesn't look 100%. And maybe by the time they get to the playoffs, you can kind of see the Jordan Love you saw last year.
I would sign up for that.
But I think it's going to take a little time because I don't think they've hit a full rhythm as an offense yet.
All right, so we got a few. We got Blake saying divisional game, keeping it close. Your team, your town says, all hail Chicago Bears. Maybe he's taking the Bears +10, and Vikings-Lions game will choose division. That might be true, and if that's the case, I unfortunately will take the Lions 10 games out of 10 in that one, even though the last one was close. So, I mean, we're kind of jumping around it here. The 10 points, are you going to lay that number?
I don't think I'm personally going to take the number, but that being said, like, if you had to tell me, all right, what's going to happen here? I'm probably going to take the Bears to cover that.
Yeah, I think I will too.
10's a lot. I mean,
so do you think they've earned that though? The Lions, right?
Yeah, I think they've earned the respect of 10 points. I think if we were talking maybe 8.5, I'm probably in on the Lions there.
Yeah,
but I certainly wouldn't put it past this game being a 16-point game with 4 minutes left, and maybe Caleb goes in,
couple out routes here.
Yeah, they go, they score, they get the 2, they make it 8. Like something like that. You know, the score makes it look the Lions, I think, control the whole game, and maybe the Bears get one shot where if they force a big turnover in the second half, something like that, that's their chance. But I mean, if you're going to look at these teams, if they're both going to play straight up and kind of how they anticipate that they will, I think it ends up, being a 2-possession game that maybe becomes 1 possession, and that's why I wouldn't take the Lions.
To your point, man, look at last week with the Bears. They were down and out that entire game. That was one of those games that barely got put on red zone because it was not a good football game. Scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. They recovered that onside kick, and now look, they've become this close 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, they're right there.
And it's a catch-22 though.
The question is when does those close losses become what's the last straw that breaks the camel's back? You can kind of read the writing on the wall in terms of Eberflus and his possible control of that team, and I'm a little worried that if they keep taking crushing losses, he might totally lose them, and then you watch them kind of play at a lower clip.
So that's the one side.
I'm worried about them just totally bailing on the coach.
Now I hear what you're saying there because I also considered that. But I'm taking the more glass half full approach to this, all right? You look at the last 2 weeks for the Chicago Bears. They have played 2 divisional opponents like we're talking about with this matchup in the Lions. They are battle-tested right here. Packers and the Packers and the Vikings, both 1-possession games, both valiant efforts. Heck, the Packers game, they were leading. You can make the case that they should have won that game.
They've been the better team in a bunch of their games this year.
I would say this Vikings game, they were not the better team, but the fight they showed in the fourth quarter leads me to believe potentially you're getting the opposite of what you're saying.
I think it could go both ways.
I think it could too.
I think it could go both ways. And I think showing up prime time against the division leader, or not prime time, but
all eyes on you. It's a big spot
time in a sense.
So Hoff actually just pointed this out. Lions have a losing record on Thanksgiving and have lost like 7 in a row. Now I don't know the exact number of how many in a row. Who'd they play last Thanksgiving? I can't remember.
I'm not gonna remember.
The Cowboys. It might have been Lions Cowboys last Thanksgiving. Nonetheless.
I feel like it wouldn't have been.
Is there any way that the Bears win this game? They play the Packers. Thank you, Hoff. Is there any way that the Bears win this game?
Yeah, they're NFL teams. You got 2 NFL teams. I'm always a believer in any given Sunday, or in this case, any given Thursday. Do they have a chance? Yeah. I don't even. Without even looking, I would probably think the Lions are, -300, 400 money line.
I something like that. Yeah, I don't want to check.
And I would be confident in doing that, but. Do they have a chance? Of course they have a chance. Caleb Williams is supremely talented. And when you have a guy, he's the more talented quarterback in the game, if we're being honest. He's more talented than Jared Goff.
Whoa, Nelly. Really? You think Caleb Williams is more talented than Jared Goff?
In terms of talent, yeah.
Okay. Maybe in terms of like raw ability, but now for one game, you would rather take Jared Goff?
If I'm playing in the Super Bowl, I'm taking Jared Goff.
Okay.
But I'm saying, if you just want to bet on raw, if you think there's something to be said about this raw ability, and, you can make the argument this is potentially one of the biggest games of Caleb Williams' life. This is some of the most eyeballs he's ever going to play in front of. If he shows out, he's got the talent around him. There's no reason to believe they can't necessarily be in the game. Am I saying it's going to happen? No, but I'm also saying that you shouldn't necessarily be surprised. I mean, he went over 300 yards last game.
I was just about to say that,
Some of the throws he's made as of late have been extremely, extremely impressive. Now, the stretches of consistency are a little concerning, if you will.
Sure.
But the guy's my age.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So
what are you doing, man? Get off your ass and start playing on Thanksgiving, my friend.
What do you expect from me if I'm lacing it up against the Lions on Thursday?
From you? I don't know. It depends if you hit legs that day or not. I don't know what to expect from you on our stream all day, honestly.
I'm going to be lethargic then, but
So I'm going to go. I love everything you just pointed out right there. I'm taking the Bears plus 10 in this game, and I don't know how great I feel about it, but I do think everything I've said. It's a divisional game. I think the Bears right now, they're playing their best football. Yep. Which is wacky to say. And we spent a good chunk, I don't know if you caught the show yesterday, Aaron, but we did a lot of quarterback comparisons of these young guys. We did Bryce Young versus Trevor Lawrence. Bryce Young versus Anthony Richardson, kind of tossed those names around. Caleb Williams quietly last week, had his best game of his NFL career.
Yep.
340 yards with 2 touchdowns, a 68 completion percentage. Week before that against the Packers, another NFC North game, 75% completion percentage, 230 yards in that one. The Bears are playing their best ball right now.
The offense has some rhythm. The only thing I will say, we did just point it out, 17 points in the fourth quarter from the Bears the other day.
Yeah.
So a lot of those Caleb stats
they were just
are in the fourth
chucking
quarter.
it, playing from behind.
You've got the defense kind of playing in a bit of a more cautious state. They're not exactly loading the box.
Don't think you're going to get that from the Lions.
I don't think you're going to get that from the Lions. And the last thing I'll say on the Bears, and it goes back to that Eberflus point, if they lose another close one this week, let's say they lose this one on a field goal or on some late turnover or something.
Mm-hmm.
After this, they're done. Because if they lose another game in that fashion, there's no coming back, especially for a young team that, the public has already lost support for their quarterback.
Especially
for their coach, rather.
I was going to say, especially guys like DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, guys who are on that second part of their career who thought, let's go join up with Caleb, let's get some money. Like, this can be a big year. They're saying, what am I wasting my last good years for? If you're Keenan Allen, like a guy like that,
has basically made it clear.
Yeah, I know.
That he's not happy.
He's not happy.
He wanted Justin Fields to still be there. He made that very clear last season. And based off his production, I can assure you, him sitting on my fantasy bench, it's not there. Him and Caleb, they're not on the same page. They're not even close to on the same page.
Now, Hoff brings up last time the Lions won on Thanksgiving was 2016. They have lost to the Bears 3 times in that span. Hoff, I will say this also. I would wager a guess, safe assumption here, that the Lions were never 10-1 in the last 7 years going into these Thanksgiving
last
games.
year they were good, but they played Green Bay, who was also good. And Caleb Williams has never played in a Thanksgiving. I don't that kind of stuff. I think it's interesting. I think it's good for the narrative, but I don't think it contributes to what's actually happening in game.
I will say I'm going to take a sprinkle on the Bears plus 450 money line. I'm feeling it. I like these Hoff stats. I like Blake pumping up the divisional game. Your team, your talent hitting me with an all-hail Chicago Bears. This is not what I expected, right? We've been doing the conversation all week. Eagles, Lions. Eagles are now in the discussion for NFC top of the town.
Agreed.
Lions, I think they're really good. I'm waiting for someone to come up and bite them. They have not won a divisional game so far this season by more than 10 points. They beat the Packers by 10 earlier this year. I think that was a little bit of a shaky, injured version of Jordan Love. I think that this Bears can cover the spread. Last thing, DeAndre Swift revenge game or no? He had his best game of the year 2 weeks ago and his worst game of the year last week.
I can't see it being a revenge game because they're going to have to score. They are going to have to score points. And I'm under the assumption that the Lions are going to score points first.
I gotcha. I think it's a safe assumption.
If the Lions score points first, they're going to abandon the run really early in that game, the Bears. I don't know if I see DeAndre Swift getting more than 12 carries.
All right. I just, if I'm DeAndre Swift over here, I'm seeing this whole Sonic and Knuckles thing going on.
I'm motivated.
I'm pissed.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm listening to Chief Keef for 4 hours before that game starts.
You're loving Sosa before that game starts.
I'm all over Sosa. But the question is, am I going to see The Rock? Probably not. The one thing I do want to say,
what's up?
Amon-Ra over 70 yards in that one.
Amon-Ra St. Brown over 70 yards. You're not scared of Jalen Johnson?
No,
right?
I'm not scared of Jalen Johnson. They move Amon-Ra around enough, too.
Okay.
They're going to put him in the slot enough to get him on some linebackers, put him in the backfield, get some mismatches.
I will say last week, Jordan Addison, Rothschild either scoot closer or move Mike closer. Shane O'Mac, you're on the Lions. Oh, boy, I don't like going against Shane O'Mac. Shane, I can't help myself. I think this could be a Bears spot.
No way Shane O'Mac is fading us right now. That means we're wrong. That's what that means.
I'm sticking with my guns on this one, Shane O'Mac, but I'm always
switching my pick.
No, you can't Benedict on that one. You can't give him the old Benedict Arnold.
I'm kidding.
All right, moving right along. Next game of the day, Giants versus Cowboys in the just I'm going to need 6 glasses of red wine before this one here, Rothschild. First thing, do the Lions and Cowboys both have to play every Thanksgiving? Are we still doing this? What is your take?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tradition is tradition. I don't even know what I would do. I mean, what team do you want to see replace him? In order to...
This year?
Not this year. Like, if you can't take out a team that plays every year and just substitute them with a one-time fix. If you're going to take one of those teams out, the team that's replacing them playing on Thanksgiving needs to play for, like, the next 20 Thanksgivings. So if you're going to put out something where you want one of them removed, what is your solution? Who are you throwing in?
Oh, I don't want them removed, to be honest with you. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there and get the chat going to see what people says. D-Rose says it's a decent tradition, like the Reds opening up the baseball season. Now, it's funny because years ago, I would have said it's the Lions who need to be off Thanksgiving. Now you can't say that anymore. I think they've just really been like a very great story. They feel like the new America's team, to be honest.
I think they're America's team currently, yeah.
They're the people's darlings going up against America's team, not literally, just in the ratings books I'm talking about. The Dallas Cowboys, who, for me, being an Eagles fan, it is a treat getting to watch the Dallas Cowboys every single Thanksgiving, in the sense that I know I have someone to root against every single turkey time with my family. I love having the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, but this matchup is cruel. It's unusual. They're going to need Creed to do a halftime show to make this game worth watching at all. Shane O'Mac says, don't call him Danny Tommy DeVito, comes out slinging, put it in the books, over on yards.
He's questionable.
I didn't see that.
DeVito was limited yesterday.
Whoa. I did not see that. That is a big part of my handicap, real quick, because I want to ask you, Aaron Rothschild, who's the best quarterback on either team's active roster right now?
Oh, well, it's Cooper Rush.
You think it's Cooper Rush?
Cooper Rush is fine. I have no problems with Cooper Rush.
What was his line last week?
I think he's a fine backup. I think Cooper Rush is a fine backup.
He's a fine backup. That's the key word.
Well, I mean, yeah, their starters out.
Okay. Go ahead though.
But the whole Tommy DeVito thing, I mean, I spoke about this on stream. This really irks me. Yeah, if there's going to be one thing that gets me worked up today, it's going to be the fact that Tommy DeVito, the Syracuse not standout, is currently starting for those Giants. I watched this guy stink at the ACC level. Absolutely stink. They benched him for Rex Culpepper, and he's one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Is that Dante's son?
No.
Then he can't be good.
He's not good. I've watched that guy spike on fourth down. But anyway, the Giants told me all I need to know about them. John Mara told me all I need to know about them when they started DeVito over Locke. Well, I bring in Locke for $5 million. What? So you can do this cutlet thing the whole time?
I think so.
Sell more seats? I have no problem. Owners are there to make money. I get that. It's a business venture. If you want to make money, go make money. That's fine. But don't openly put out there that I care more about my margins than I care about at least trying to win football games. At least trying.
Well, that's the thing, though. They're probably not trying to win football games.
But you can't
admit that.
You can't admit that.
Yes.
There are smart fans who will pick up on it anyway, but for the idiots out there who like football, you cannot openly put it out there for even them to notice. That's how you lose fans.
Damn.
That's how you lose an audience. It's a joke. It is an absolute joke.
You are spitting straight facts, man. If there's any Giants fans in the chat, please, if you want to air some grievances, I know it's not Festivus yet, but if we want to start early on some airing of grievances, I feel for you, Giants and Jets fans. I'm not even joking. You know, at a certain point as an Eagles fan where it's like, yeah, suck it. You know, and then you got to a point now where you just lay that out. That's not fun, man.
It's not fun. And I can't even imagine being a player on that team, too. What about these guys who are playing for their NFL careers? Because you've got plenty of them. Like, you know,
Tommy DeVito. That was genuine.
A lot of these guys are not, you know, especially on the Giants side of the ball, are by no means guaranteed to end up on a roster next year.
And you're starting to see it. Azeez Ojulari, I think, just got called out of the game for tomorrow. One of the better players on that Giants defensive
middle linebacker.
front seven. I think that might play a big factor. Shane O'Mac was saying DeVito comes out slinging. He says it's the Brady effect. Brady was always limited in practice. Who is trying to tank harder, the Giants or the Cowboys? That's the real question.
The Giants.
The Giants, Shane, for no doubt. And part of my rationale for this.
If the Cowboys were trying to out-tank the Giants, we'd be seeing Trey Lance.
Bingo! I was just about to say it. Took the words right out of my mouth. I totally agree. I think Jerry is genuine when he says that Cooper Rush gives us the best chance to win. He's going to be our quarterback.
Cooper Rush is fine. And now after that win against the Commanders, I'm going to be like, oh, well, if we can get Dak back and we can beat the Giants, we're 5-7. You're telling me we can't go 5-0 and finish 10-7?
And then McCarthy saves his job.
McCarthy's job is already saved.
Now, real quick on this game here. To Shane O'Mac's question, I think this is the correct way. You've spoken like a true degenerate here. This is the way to handicap this game, in my opinion, is which team is trying to tank harder.
Which team is better at attempting to lose.
And I think that's absolutely the Giants, even though the Cowboys tried pretty hard last week. There's one reason I'm going to take the Cowboys in this game. This game is in Jerry World. And the Joneses, this is where they spend Thanksgiving. This game is going to mean more to the Cowboys and Cooper Rush, I believe, in Thanksgiving. Micah Parsons, I don't know how much it means to him, to be completely honest.
He needs to get out of there.
But even Micah Parsons at half strength is a whole lot better than anything the Giants are putting out there.
I don't even see this game as close, frankly. You've got one guy who's a solid NFL backup in Cooper Rush, and then you've got a clown show in Tommy DeVito. And I have no problem saying that. Tommy, if you want to find me, you know where I'm at. But that guy sucks.
No, his stat line last week was hilarious. It was the Kenny Pickett line. It was like 21 of 31 for 190 yards.
I remember declaring
like
the Jets season over last year in a win against the Giants, and it was DeVito's NFL debut, and Daboll refused to let Tommy throw the ball. He refused to let him throw the ball, and the Jets still barely won that game. And I said, even though we won, our season's over. And then after that, I never wanted to see Tommy DeVito play again after he left Syracuse. He goes to Illinois. He hangs in there okay in the Big Ten. He, gets himself an undrafted contract. But I never want to see that guy play NFL football again. It's a disgrace to the league.
Oh, my God. Tell me how you really feel, young Rothschild. I'm just messing with you. I'm with you. I'm going to be on the Cowboys this game. I might not bet it. As an Eagles fan, it feels wrong. But if I had to make a play, it's a hold your nose, take the Cowboys on this one. That's not going to be like an official play or anything like that. I want to get to Shane O'Mac's question in just 1 second. I think it's a great one. But I actually think Drew Lock is the best quarterback on either active roster in this game.
Oh, I thought you were asking per team. Yes, that I agree with. I think if you put Drew Lock on the Cowboys right now.
6-point spread, 5.5 point spread?
Yeah.
Cowboys.
And I also think they're probably, they're 4-7. I think they're probably 5-6. I think they're one win better.
Okay. I'm waiting to bet this game, to be honest, because if Drew Lock comes in for the Giants, I might totally flip-flop. You know, if DeVito's actually questionable, I tend to agree with Shane O'Mac. It's a Tom Brady. It's a gamesmanship kind of thing where, is he going to play? Is he going to not? He's totally fine. Do you see what Shane O'Mac has?
Yeah, I just read that question. I don't think it's in the cards. I
buy it, Shane. I'll be honest.
I'm not going to say I would. I'd go for it. I think it'd be cool. And I'm not usually someone who really likes flashy, splashy stuff by teams like this.
I'm not going to say it would work necessarily.
I'm not going to say it would work. I'm interested in seeing how it would go. I think Deion's proven me wrong.
Damn right he has. Do you believe?
I don't know if I believe, but I should. I really don't have a rational reason I shouldn't. Every time I haven't.
Well, that game against Kansas this Saturday might be a wrong
Kansas has
reason.
beat some other good teams recently, though, as they've gotten healthier.
Yeah.
They started 2-6. And now they've strung together a couple wins against some really good opponents.
Did you hear the stat? First team in FBS history with a losing record to beat 3 strength-ranked opponents.
Is that what it is?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's pretty crazy.
So they're legit. And they started the season off as a ranked team, if I'm not mistaken, as well. They just, ran into some bad luck, some tough luck with injuries.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen. I think Deion would kind of keep his cards closer to the chest if it was going to happen. I think it would just kind of come up out of nowhere at the end of the year, as opposed to, seeing him all in. He's kind of he's straight up refuting.
I was about to say, I feel like that's what you have to do, but like, what else is he gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
I think he would just opt for no comment.
Okay.
I don't think he
would.
No
comment, I think, is way more suspicious. They're like, Deion.
I think he's fine with being. I think if it was in the works, I think he would be fine with having suspicion. I don't think he wants suspicion around the program because I don't think he wants it to impact his recruiting, because I don't think he's leaving. They just brought in the number 1 player available in the 2025 class.
Yes.
That kid's not committing if Deion doesn't assure that kid eye to eye, I'm staying here long term.
Yeah, you think these guys don't lie every day of their lives?
I don't think
kids?
Deion has been in the coaching world long enough to put.
He doesn't need to be, though. That's the prime effect,
This kid
man.
would air him out. He doesn't need to be.
So what?
I'm just saying. I don't think.
Who is this kid?
I'm just saying. I don't
Sanders.
think he's built his name off of integrity. I do right by the kids. I'm here for the kids. I'm a molder. I mold men. I don't mold football players.
I get what you're saying.
I don't think he can sustain that. It would go totally against what he's done so far. I don't think he's gonna go. He's made this his pillar, if you will.
You are saying this all as if Deion Sanders was never prime in the NFL. Because what you're saying about Coach Deion is absolutely true, I think. He's been a fantastic coach. He's walked the walk. He's talked the talk. But he, at the end of the day, he's the OG prime time. This guy, I think that's what carries him more. But he's following through on what you're saying. at the end of the day, he's still prime, man. And Shane O'Mac just said, he said all that before he jumped to Colorado for the cash. And don't get me wrong, Jackson State to Colorado, a lot of people forget about that. I tend to forget about that sometimes too. But he is the greatest comeback of all time, Deion Sanders. I think I would not be surprised if we see Deion Sanders in the NFL. I'm not saying book it, but I am saying where there's smoke, there's fire.
Well, you're saying next year? Or you're saying in the next 10 years? Because I could see it in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't see it happening next year.
I could see it happening next year. I'm saying it's 50-50. I think it's 50-50.
Yeah, see, I'd say there's maybe a 20% chance of him ending up in the NFL.
And Hoff asked, do you think Shedeur is actually that good, or is he the Bronny James of football? I think he's absolutely that good, Hoff. And I think a Bronny James comparison is disrespectful.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. I'm not a Shedeur fan. So do I think he's worth what? He's probably going to get... Would we say it's safe to say he's going to go in the top 10?
Shedeur?
Yeah, is that?
I think he's the best quarterback in this class. But therefore, he would go top 10.
So
yes.
Okay, so is that? I guess we could say that's mildly conservative then, that he'd be top 10 because maybe he'd be top 5 or so.
I've seen some mock drafts with him going too.
Okay, so you don't know how the teams are going to shake out. Obviously, that's going to be a part of it. You know, what teams in the top 5 are quarterback needy, which ones aren't.
Jason's saying Cam Ward greater. Yeah, Cam Ward's pretty good.
I don't think Shedeur is that good.
All right, wait. Shane O'Mac's bringing up a good point. Jackson Dart. Your boy Jackson Dart looking really good in the swamp last week. Connie, get out of here with Jackson Ward.
He is really good at making really bad decisions.
I know. He's got the skills, but look at Anthony Richardson. He makes bad decisions all the time.
And Anthony Richardson is way more physically talented than Jackson Dart.
But let me see. Shano says, Deion, Cowboys legends. Maybe 4 people in his inner circle. Michael Irvin was his boy on that team during the heyday. I tend to believe him. I will say though, Shano, Michael Irvin, I don't know.
He's not exactly the most... I don't know if I'd classify him as the most trustworthy.
Yeah, I think there's some weight to his word, especially when it comes to Coach Prime. But a little too much fun.
I don't think he's the end all be all on the matter.
No. But some late nights in Miami for Michael Irvin, if you know what I'm saying here. I don't know about that all the time.
I think he doesn't want to see Colorado get more attention than Miami right now. And if that attention can just get centered right around about the common denominator being the Cowboys, then Michael Irvin will be happy.
Well, I think this all goes to show you that we were talking about Cowboys-Giants tomorrow, and it broke out into a Shedeur and Coach Prime going to the Giants conversation. Safe to say, Rothschild, that this game for tomorrow, neither of these coaches will be here at this time next year?
No, I think McCarthy comes back.
You think McCarthy comes back?
I think Dak's injury saved McCarthy's job.
Really? I think McCarthy should have been gone last year, and this whole season
I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying at this point, this season's a wash now. I mean, with all that money around, they have no offensive line, they have no running game. You can't hold this one on McCarthy. You simply can't.
Shane, are you saying Rothschild's lost his mind with McCarthy coming back? Jason says McCarthy on borrowed time. I tend to agree. I think McCarthy's already out the door. I hear what you're saying. And look, if he wins out, if Mike McCarthy wins out, runs the table, I think he comes back.
I'm saying it right.
Anything other than that, no way.
Now, I mean, if they look terrible, if they flop like a fish, if they finish 5-12, McCarthy's gone. I think if they're middling, if they finish with 7 wins, they go 3.
So look at that. I take that bet, Rothschild.
If they finish 7-10, I think he's back. I'd take that bet.
I'll bet you a year's salary McCarthy is gone next year.
If they win 7 games, Shane O'Mac, I bet you that McCarthy's back.
All right, we'll book that. We'll hold you to that one, yeah. Shane O'Mac. All right, last game of the slate for tomorrow. We got the best game of the slate tomorrow. I'm excited about this one.
This one should be good because
Dolphins-Packers.
They have everything to play for, those Dolphins.
Yeah.
And this is their inverse season right now.
What do you mean?
Because
every Mike
McDaniel season so far, they start off really hot. Defenses can't really adjust to what the offense is doing. They're too fast for everyone. This year, they lose Tua early. They have to sludge through the beginning part of the year. Thank you. I appreciate that. Teams don't have enough time to adjust to them right now. Because every year, McDaniel adds a new wrinkle, a little this, a little that.
That Achane lining up the slot for the
that modifies what they did the year before, that makes them hard to stop when you first see the full offense roll out. And right now, they're in that stretch. That's always their best stretch of the year. So the question is going to be, can they maintain that the whole season or not? And I think there might be just not enough time left for them to stay in there.
In low key, Shane, yes, it is code word for developing a running game.
When you're losing all your games, yeah, it is sludge.
It's you got to sludge to develop the running game. Now you're playing with a full deck of cards.
If they were winning games while developing the run game, it wouldn't be sludge. It would be winning games.
Exactly. I think
it's
you're dead
sludge
on.
because they were losing.
Now you learn how to run. Now you can throw. You're throwing H-Chan everywhere. An absolute gadget over here. For this game, these are two teams that I am loving right now. For you, what do you think the ceiling is for the Packers this season? And then what's the ceiling for the Dolphins?
I think the Packers can make the Super Bowl.
Wow. Okay. I'm glad you said that.
That's a ceiling. I'm not saying that's the most likely outcome, but do I think it's possible? Yes. Mm-hmm. I think when that offense is on, the way LaFleur calls that offense and the way he adjusts in game, he's one of the best halftime adjusters in the NFL. That's why you see them make so many great comebacks. If Love is going, the young wide receiver core, if Christian Watson can avoid dropping the football.
And Romeo Doubs will be out in this game, by the way.
Okay. So that's an interesting one. But they do go 4 deep. You know, Dontavian Wicks, I think, is an underrated piece of that offense. He can step up with Dobbs out. If they can get Jacobs going, you know, they're starting to get Marshawn Lloyd, I believe, into the fold a bit as the rookie running back. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to compete with the Lions in the NFC and the Eagles, for that matter. I think against both of them, they're probably 2 to 3 point underdogs when the postseason comes around. And I have no reason to believe that they don't have as good a chance as anyone.
Filming Vinyl taking down a spot in the old triple-double. Thank you, Filming Vinyl.
Appreciate you filming.
By the way, guys, a little reminder, check our store right here. We got our store loaded up with breaks for the day. Jano's saying there's Green Bay's not beating the Eagles or the Lions. I tend to disagree, Shane. I just think the Lions, that NFC North matchup, can't help but look back to last year's playoffs. This is pretty much the same Packers team with a little more experience. I appreciate that, Filming Vinyl. I could see them jumping up, and I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying I think they're live.
I think it's possible.
And as an Eagles fan, let's look at the first game of the season. You can say a lot has changed, and a lot has changed since then. All in all, I think that Packers-Eagles first game of the year is still a decent barometer of what these two teams represent.
Well, at least they were both healthy then. I mean, that was the healthiest we've seen Jordan Love.
Yeah, that's true. But also that was the Eagles before they were really running the ball as much.
Yeah, no, I think both teams should be better when the postseason comes around. But I think they should have equally improved, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, like, they both started where they are, where they both improved similar amounts, and they're both going to finish in comparison around the same way they were.
I think Shane's right, though. I think public perception, because of Love's injury, will be the Eagles have been more dominant. But I don't know if that's going to be reality when we hit Week 18 or whatever. Sticking on this game, though, Dolphins, you nailed it, man. This is the fourth must-win game in a row for the Dolphins?
Every game's a must-win right there.
And every single game, they have looked dominant. Not even just good, they have looked dominant.
One thing the competition hasn't exactly been stiff.
Well, the Rams was the first start of this run. I think the Rams are a very decent team now.
It was also the Rams when they weren't fully healthy yet, though, I believe.
That's true. I think they were missing
it wasn't the Puka Cup Stafford Rams, which when you get 3 of them together, that offense is totally different because the way McVay utilizes those weapons.
Would you say the Dolphins season is over with a loss in this game?
No, because the AFC is so weak.
Yeah, I know.
When I was looking at the Jets trying to figure their way back into it, I've been saying I think a team is going to get in at 9-8, and I still think that's probably the case. Maybe even 8-9. So I don't think it's over. Does it hurt their chances? Absolutely.
All right, Shannon says easily, as long as Goff is the 90% accuracy game manager he's been all season, it's a wrap. I'm not buying it. And I understand.
I don't think there's such thing as a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get what you're saying. I guess from what you've seen so far, that's what it's looked like. But and I know if that, they were this close to losing to the Vikings. They should have lost to the Texans, and I get that's not your game manager point you're making, Shane. I just can't help but look at some of these games that are so close that everyone is just so quick to just brush right under the rug and say, oh, look at how they threw that touchdown to Penei Sewell in a 47-9 route. Like, it's looked easy for the Lions. I just think it's eventually going to catch up to them. Someone's going to stack the box. Someone's going to be able to slow them down and throw some wrinkles at them.
Someone's watching right now, 12 weeks out, thinking about how are we going to stop the Lions when it's our time.
And they might not be able to do it.
It might not work because Ben Johnson's a genius as well. So I'm not discounting what him and that offense is capable of. And I'm sure he's already looking forward. But there's some team that's already a shoo-in for the playoffs. That's maybe the Eagles right now. I was
thinking maybe it's Vic Fangio. He's a freak.
That is thinking, how am I going to stop this? What do I need to do to stop it? And is it going to work? I don't know. But the more time you have to prepare for stuff like this, the better chances you have. And someone's out there doing that right now, which is why I think there's no such thing as a wrap, especially in the NFL. Anything can happen any given Sunday or Thursday for that matter.
All right, so we just want to put a bow on this final game of the night. I am going with the Dolphins in this game. I'm going to be taking their +3 big time. I'm going to be sprinkling the money line. I'm actually going to be hitting the money line on the Dolphins.
I'm gonna be on the Packers.
You're going to be on the Packers?
I don't trust Tua. The one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is Tua in the cold.
I know. I thought about that as well.
And it's bad. And he's saying, I look forward to silencing these rumors. I think that's the exact attitude you got to have. What are you going to say? Yeah, I'm going to suck. I can't play in the cold for my life. I am not looking forward to this. Obviously, you can't expect him to say that. I love the mindset. But is he good in the cold? No, the guy's from Hawaii.
I thought about this as well, and it's very fair. Tua in the cold is not a great track record. But you know what else isn't great? The Packers injury report is rough stuff, man. Jair Alexander looks like he's going to miss another one. Edgerrin Cooper did not play. Romeo Doubs did not play for the concussion yesterday. Who else we got in here? Josh Jacobs has been limited yesterday.
I have no problem with that with running backs.
Isaiah McDuffie did not participate. Xavier McKinney did not participate in practice. It's just name after name after name on the Packers injury report.
McKinney would be a big one, especially with the way those wide receivers run around for those Dolphins. They're going to need this. The secondary injuries are going to be tough to overcome. But overall, I think the secondary injuries become easier to overcome when Tua can't grip the ball because it's 21 and it's sleet out there.
It's just. Do we know that for a fact? Do we know the
No,
weather
I totally
report?
Pulled that out of my
All
butt.
right, let me pull it up. And I mean, look, it's Lambeau on Thanksgiving. I think it is a safe assumption.
And I don't think Jordan Love is playing as well as he did last year, Shane O'Mac, but I don't think he's healthy. And I think every week that he gets farther from that injury, he gets better, my friend.
All right, I'm getting a little nervous. Snow showers, 27 degrees.
All right, so I was pretty accurate in my guess.
That is, and it's precipitation 20%, so no guarantees here.
I don't think the precipitation is going to be a big part either way.
But the precipitation is the snow.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think it, if he is to throw the ball, you remember it's going to be nighttime too. The wind's probably going to be swirling at night. The real feel of that game, I'm going to assume, is going to be in the low teens.
Yeah, but
that is
remember
not.
Remember the sludge, Rothschild. Now you just hand it off to H&M.
They were sludging against bad opponents and losing games. The sludge was losing games.
If Love couldn't do it last year at peak performance, how do you think he beats a better statistical Detroit team? They almost did it last year. You were what? You were a couple plays away.
Because I think he's a year older. I think he's a year better.
You're wiser.
And again, I'm not saying I'm predicting it happening. I'm not saying I think this is going to happen. I'm just saying it's too early to say that it's a foregone conclusion that the Lions are going to the Super Bowl.
I would agree. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Maybe I'm an Eagles fan, Shane, so maybe I'm with a little bias here.
No, I mean, to be honest, I think the Packers are probably better than the Eagles, but we can talk about that at another time.
All right, we can. I'm not doing that with you right now. Let me just pull the Lions schedule because I think we're about to learn a lot about the Lions. Lions schedule the rest of the year. Bears, Packers, Bills, Bears, Niners, Vikings. Every single game for the rest of the season is either a divisional matchup or a formidable opponent. I am looking forward to this Lions. I think if you want to take the Lions to take the Super Bowl, I would wait. I feel like this is the height of the Lions. That sounds like a Broadway movie, The Height of the Lions or something like that.
The Lion King.
Yeah, there you go. But look, I get what you're saying. I can't really refute it based on what we've seen so far. I'm just not going to buy into it. I refuse. The Sonic Knuckles thing is great. I think without Hutchinson, that defense might start showing some signs of weakness soon.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. I'm also they're almost, aside from Hutchinson, they're almost too healthy.
He says, I load the boat on the Lions not losing another game this year. Bernie says Lions are the best team in the NFC. Bernie did absolutely school me last week when I said there's no way Brock Purdy does not miss this game. He did, in fact, miss the game. Shane, I think you're crazy for that. Is there an actual line out there? I think the Lions absolutely.
In theory, you could roll it over.
You can roll it over, and then what if they rest all their starters week 18? I think that's a very legitimate possibility.
Well, I mean, we did just speak about the Vikings, being one game out and the Packers being two games out, so the likelihood of that, I guess, is slim.
That's a good point. Name a team that beats them. Okay, let's see. The Bills, for one. I think the Bills are definitely viable to beat them.
Where does that game take place? In Detroit?
In Detroit, but I think the Bills have every reason to fight. I think the 49ers, with the 49ers at home, on a primetime game, desperate spot for the 49ers. And then who knows, last game of the season, Vikings-Lions, that seems like a toss-up game. I wouldn't pick the Vikings, but it just seems like such a tough bet.
As much as I would love to be all over the Vikings, I can't do it.
I know. I don't love the Vikings either.
I can't do it. I want to be in on them so bad too, but even their wins don't look good.
Yeah, I'm not a Vikings
guy.
They're
like the Indiana.
The in division, man.
They're like the Indiana of the NFL. Like they're gonna get in. They're going to be ranked highly in terms of seeding, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, do they belong there? Probably not. Are they probably going to get shown up in the playoffs? Probably.
It was like Vikings 2 years ago when they lost the Giants in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah.
Well, that was just Kirk.
Real quick here, Rothschild. Moving off the. Wait, real quick. I got a parlay for tomorrow. Simple parlay. It's kind of a teaser. Bears plus 17. Tyrone Tracy 40+ rushing yards. I think if there's anything the Giants can do well, it's hand the ball to Tyrone Tracy. And the Dolphins plus 10. It's kind of like a teaser. It gets you like plus 110 odds, I believe.
Yep.
And then instead of because I got too scared of taking the Giants. What do you got tomorrow?
I've got if I had a parlay to run, I go Amon-Ra over 70.5. Mm-hmm. I'm going the Cowboys spread, and I'm going the Packers. I'm alternating that spread. I believe it's at 5.5 now. I'm taking them at 2.5.
Packers are 5.5 now.
I thought that's what they were last I checked.
Packers are 3.
Oh, okay. So then I'm buying the point then.
Okay.
Yep.
Buying the hook. I gotcha. Yeah, man, we're not seeing eye to eye on the Packers. I respect you. I respect the Packers.
I respect you as well.
I just think that this Packers game does not mean as much for them. This means everything for the Dolphins. Packers injury is so banged up, it feels like a must win.
I still think it's a if the Packers want to stay within reach of that division, like we were talking about, it's a must win.
I know.
So
I just think the Packers.
I don't necessarily buy into the must win thing because I'm sorry if you're playing in the NFL and you're getting paid the money you're getting paid to make it when you're in there. And no, every game's a must win. Every game's a must win. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Lace them up and get motivated. Let's go.
Rub some dirt on it.
What are you whining about?
I like the mindset, Rothschild. Unfortunately, that's not reality.
What are you whining about? No. Matt LaFleur's gonna have him ready to go.
Jason says Laporta over and Shane O'Mac. I would love to hear any little parlay. Let's see what Bernie says. Bernie says too many tough losable games. They'll drop one, especially if they lock. Oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, we're
Bernie.
agreeing with that one.
We see eye to eye on that one. Real quick here, outside of these games, kind of look at that Dolphins game because I think it's maybe one of the most fun times of the NFL season where you learn a lot about so many teams, and there's still this kind of middling phase of, wild card, who's really contenders. Rank these 4 wild card teams for me because this is right now probably what you're going to be looking at. The Steelers, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Dolphins. Do you have rankings for this? If not, I have
a pretty easy rankings. The Steelers are number 1.
Yep, agreed.
The Chargers are number 2.
Okay.
The Broncos are number 3.
Really?
And the Dolphins are number 4.
All right. I agree with you except for Dolphins and Broncos. Real quick,
the Broncos defense is so good.
Okay.
That Broncos defense flies around the field. I watched them play when they beat the Jets in, I want to say, week 4.
Okay.
And, the offense was miserable. That's when I kind of knew the Jets were screwed. I believe Bo Nix threw for about 80 yards, sub 50% completion. But that defense had us absolutely locked up. It was remarkable. And now they have Bo Nix playing at an MVP level. He's not just playing at an Offensive Rookie of the Year level. Right now, I'm not saying he's the MVP. I don't even think Bo Nix is frankly that good. But Sean Payton has him doing some wizardry out there right now. There are people wide open in places there should not be wide open. I watched a compilation the other day. Oh boy, of their screen passes.
He's nerding out. I love this. Keep going.
Of their screen passes that they devise. They have the best screen game in the NFL. There are people wide open everywhere. I could play quarterback for them if I had a working shoulder. It's remarkable what Peyton has them doing. I'm all over the Broncos.
I was trying to find this J.K. Dobbins. It just seems like it says, quote, he will miss some time. Bad news update with J.K. Dobbins. It sounds like they don't want to put an exact timetable on the Dobbins news, but it does sound like he's going to be out for at least, a rap sheet just a few minutes ago. Sprained in Monday's game that will cause him to miss some time. They just keep saying sometime.
That's never a good sign.
That's never a good sign.
Especially when the guy's been injured his first 4 years of his career.
Dude, you made a good point for the Broncos. The one thing that scares me is how you said they locked up the Jets. If that's your barometer for being a great defense, that does give me some fear.
I'm just saying that was the closest I've watched them.
Yeah,
and then they've continued to do it from there. The defense has remained strong from there.
Shane O'Mac giving some good plays. The one I really like, Shane O'Mac, was that Gibbs' longest rushing play, over 17.5. I'm going to be on that one. Appreciate that, Shano. I love what you said about the Broncos, by the way. As someone who's been hating the Broncos, I'm kind of like, okay, Rothschild, I'll give you some respect. I won't for this. I already had this predetermined rankings in my mind.
Yeah, don't flake on me now.
I'm not going to flake on you now, but come next week after Sunday's games, I might have a different view of the Broncos. I would go on this list. Steelers 1, we agree there. I would go Dolphins 2. I'm going Dolphins 2. I have just been buying into what I've been seeing since Tua has been back. The Chargers are they have no weapons.
All right, so then how much does this game mean to you right now? Because if the Dolphins lose, and they have to become 4, right?
If the Dolphins lose, well, I'm going based on just like talent roster alone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing this based on chances to make the playoffs.
Okay, but I'm saying then,
in terms of
if
making
they
playoffs,
lose this game,
I think they're done.
So then
they become 4.
So
yes.
they're 2 for you right now,
They're
and then
2
they
for me
fall
right
out
now.
of the race with a loss to
Pretty much.
So they fall out of. So you have them as 2 right now, and with a loss
in
as
terms
underdogs
of the best teams,
on the road,
yes,
they fall out of this conversation.
I think so.
Interesting. Okay.
I just think there's too many.
There's so much parity there, or I guess it's discrepancy, if you will.
It's they say only fools operate in extremes. Then I'm a damn fool because I'm operating in an extreme right now. The Dolphins, on paper, on roster, and on the field since Tua's been back. Out of these 4 teams, the one when I watch football games, I say hello. That's the Dolphins. They are too fast. They're too electric, and I think in the playoffs. That's massive there. So I still go Steelers 1. I think they're more well-rounded. I go Dolphins 2. I go Chargers 3 because I think their defense is as good as the Broncos, but they just have Justin Herbert, who I would take over Bo Nix. And I do give Harbaugh some respect. And then I go Broncos 4. But Rothschild has me. I'm going to be watching this Broncos game with a magnifying glass
Watch
now.
how open their guys get.
I like that.
Bo Nix gets a couple wide-open shots at Troy Franklin every other game, it appears.
And Bernie says the Chargers are the same team without Dobbins. Not sure how they're viable anymore. That's a big part of why I have the Chargers so low. It really dawned on me that those receivers for the Chargers are the worst I've ever seen.
I disagree with Byrne. I disagree with Byrne on that one. There is no reason to believe that J.K. Dobbins, in theory, is really any better than anyone else in that locker room.
Okay.
Running backs grow on trees.
Hank Aaron's great nephew, by the way, for those who didn't know, Kamani Vidal. The backup running back, who along with Gus Edwards, who will be getting some touches. Yeah, it's a fun fact. Hank Aaron's great nephew, so there's greatness in those legs.
I have Hank Aaron's autograph in my house, actually. Yes,
it's pretty cool. It's pretty
cool.
But
going back to the running back thing, who was to say that the running game was going to be better this year with J.K. Dobbins as opposed to Austin Eckler last year?
Going into the season, that's fair, but I'd say halfway, like week 6 last year with the Chargers. It seemed to be pretty obvious that Eckler had lost the step.
But I guess my saying is, so what's to say that Gus Edwards can't do what Dobbins is doing right now?
I agree with you, though. No, I agree with you.
I don't think the running back moves the needle at all. The scheme stays the same. They still have the 2 best tackles in football. Harbaugh is still the one drawing up the plays, calling the runs, motivating them. I have no problem with the Chargers and their running game.
Yeah, but they should be motivated. It's the NFL, Rothschild. They lace them up every week. What does it matter that he's motivated?
I agree.
Threw it right back at you there.
But maybe Harbaugh's different. He gets me ready to go.
That's true. if you guys there's a video of Harbaugh trying to catch the footballs, and he's like, "Oh, I suck," and he's missing them all.
That's literally me when I miss top loading a card properly.
I suck today.
When I missed the first time.
Bernie says Gus had 1.3 yards per carry Monday night. Yikes.
Well, I'm not.
He threw
I don't have the stats to back me up. This is just.
I tend to agree with you, though.
This is just my personal thought process on running backs. I think they grow on trees. I think Braylon Allen is as good as Breece Hall.
Ooh.
You can. Tyrone Tracy is, averaging some of the most yards per carry on the Giants.
Not as good as Saquon Barkley. Don't you dare say.
I'm not saying he is, but it just goes to show you.
Because I've seen some people on Twitter making those jokes.
You throw them on teams. These guys all run 4.4s. They're all extremely impressive athletes. They were all 5 stars into college. They're all great players. It comes down to scheme and who's playing on the offensive line in front of them.
Jordan Mason would tend to agree with you. All right, let's move over to some more Thanksgiving fun stuff over here. And I would like to chat. Anyone who's watching, feel free to participate. I don't know if anyone else has Thanksgiving traditions out there. And my family, I'm very upset. I'm very sad I'm not going to be able to see my family for this Thanksgiving. If you're watching, hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Let me just chime in real quick. Shane O'Mac, the only 2 people that I do declare as different are Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey. Because they have skill sets that no one else can replicate.
Oh, and Bernie says Steelers 1, Broncos 2, Chargers 3, Dolphins 4. Dolphins have rough schedule to finish, and Cheetah is hurt. Not the same. I got you, Bernie. We'll check back on Friday. You can. I can eat a nice big plate of crow again if the Finns lose on Thursday. If they cover, I might hold the littles true.
But, good teams win. Great teams
cover, man. But Thanksgiving, Rothschild. I love Thanksgiving. Every year at Thanksgiving we go. It's corny, but hey, man, it's good to remember what we're thankful for on this Thanksgiving. And every year we go around the table and we say, what are you thankful for? Growing up as a kid, I can remember saying, I'm thankful for Donovan McNabb, And as I got older, I would say, I'm thankful for Sam Hinkie and trusting the process. And then, someone would say, I'm just thankful that we could all be here today. Everyone's healthy and safe, and we can spend this great time with our family.
No one likes that guy.
And I go, I'm thankful the Eagles got Carson Wentz,
That's real nice. But did you see the trade the the Sixers just pulled off.
Yeah. So I want to have our what we are thankful for in sports today. I'll start us off with my first thankful for. I'm thankful for rookies. What is better than rookies? Because even if you root for a bad team, it's a glimmer of hope. Children are the future. Let us nurture them. I don't know the line. You know what I'm talking about? The famous.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nurturing children at 8:30 on a Wednesday.
You got to nurture them because they are what is our future, and that's what you look at with these teams here. I am thankful for rookies, specifically Jared McCain on the 76ers, Matvey Michkov on the Philadelphia Flyers, and Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell on the Philadelphia Eagles. I am so thankful for these guys.
You do have a lot to be thankful for in the world of rookies, especially with those Sixers. I mean, Josh refused to talk basketball with me just because he selfishly didn't want to talk about those Sixers.
No, I did not.
I came in here, I wanted to talk all about my Knicks, but that's who I'm most thankful for right now.
The New York Knicks?
Just the New York Knicks.
What about Mitchell?
Leon Rose in particular.
Well, D-Ro Dad says he's thankful every day for Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
Should be thankful that Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks didn't pony up.
Idiots.
Yep.
4 years, $55 million. That was the best you could do for the guy. Come on now.
Shane. Oh God, Shane. I do worry about you sometimes when I'm not on stream. He says, "I'm thankful Polish table tennis is available to gamble when no other sport is live."
That is how it all started for me. My first ever sports bet was on Russian ping pong.
Bernie says, "I thought the white cornerback was a distinct species until Cooper DeJean." It is true. No one saw this coming.
The great white hope in Cooper DeJean right there.
It's crazy, man. Corey C. Payne takes an issue with you. He says, "Go Cavs." I would agree, Corey.
No offense, but the Cavs stink.
Oh, yeah, sure. Tell that to Donovan Mitchell.
I don't care. They stink. I am not even remotely worried about them.
I am thankful. What's up?
The only team that scares me in the NBA, and I'll drop it after this, is the Celtics, and they don't even scare me. The Knicks play some of the most beautiful flashes of basketball I've ever seen.
Running backs grow on trees. I'm maybe scared of the Celtics. You're crazy, Rothschild.
We match up.
We're gonna have to start jotting down these takes and throw them at you.
We
in
are
a few
built
weeks.
to beat the Celtics.
I'm thankful for not rooting for a team ran by Jerry Jones, or rooting for the Giants or the Jets. I mean, or the Oakland A's.
I'm thankful for the mental strength I've gained rooting for my teams and making me the man I am today. Actually, let me rephrase. I'm not thankful at all because I suck. And if those teams made me who I am, then I am not thankful for it in the slightest.
Well, you can see how his self-esteem's doing after rooting for the Jets his whole life. Oh, buddy, we got to work on that one. I'm thankful for NFL Red Zone.
Yes.
People didn't get to experience NFL Red Zone. I tried to watch NFL Red Zone with my pop once, and he turned this off.
My dad,
like,
I tried to do the same thing with my dad. He's like, I can't keep up with this.
Are you serious? Come on.
I can't keep up with this.
I, for one, being the Zoomer that I am, give me NFL Red Zone. Can you imagine? I remember back in the day sitting through like Bills Patriots, and it's 38-10 in the fourth quarter, and I'm sitting here watching it because we had nothing else. We didn't know what else there could be.
We were just happy to have football on at all times, and then CBS. There would be the days where there was no game of the week where you were located, or you couldn't get the game of the week, let's say on CBS. So then you'd only have one game to choose from, and if that game became a blowout on Fox, then you were really screwed. So.
Blake says, we are thankful for Mr. Ben Perro. I'm thankful for Mr. Ben Perro, waking up every day at the crack of dawn with us to get us on stream. And lastly, I'm thankful for Stream East.
Yeah, well, that's how I watch Red Zone. So I'm I'm as much as I'm thankful for Red Zone, I'm really even more thankful that I don't pay for it out of my own pocket.
Yeah, well, thank you, Streamies, for anything I could ever need. It's just right there. It's
unbelievable.
Ridiculous how this exists.
I will continue to pray for the strength and continued health of Streamies. That's what I'm thankful for at this time of year. I never want to see them fail. Some great people doing God's work over there at Streamies.
Watch it, Shano. If anyone else is in there looking to tell us what you're thankful for, specifically in the world of sports, please, I'd love to hear it.
Or in Shano's world.
No, that's all right. Gonna pass on that one. Stick to Polish table tennis just for at least this early in the morning, Shano.
On a Wednesday.
Yeah, hey, it's Thanksgiving Eve, my friend.
Hump day.
Anything else you're thankful for, Rothschild? What's up, Chuck?
I'm thankful for the near end, I'm hoping the end of the Aaron Rodgers era in gangrene.
Thankful for SB Nation mock drafts and whatever
I never want to see that man play again. I hope he never does. I hope he goes into the darkness for the next 50 years. There are few people in the world that currently hate more than Aaron Rodgers himself.
I like Aaron Rodgers, but I guess I really can't blame you.
That dude sucks.
He's better than anything else you've been able to watch for a few years.
Shut your mouth and play football. You can't even do that right.
Chucky, thank you. And I don't either, D-Ro Dad, but he has not looked great. I won't lie. Yeah,
I would. We were better.
Chucky.
We were better, Chucky. We were better. We were still in the playoff hunt at this time of year with Zach.
Yeah.
Twice.
That's not a life you want to live, I don't think. No, I'm not reading that, Shayna. You almost got me there. All right. That's if you want to let me know all day, we'll always hear what you're thankful for. I want to do a little quick college football playoff reaction, just really briefly touch on this one. Alabama out of the playoffs and Clemson in of the college football playoff.
Well, can I just correct you real quick?
Yeah.
So Clemson's currently the 12 seed, but they're actually the first team out. Arizona State would have their bid because they're the best team at large. Yes. So they're ranked 12, but they would not get in because of Arizona State. They're projected to be a conference champion. They would be getting in instead of Clemson. So I just do want to note that Arizona State would actually be the 12th team in the field right now.
Either way you slice it, Alabama is out.
Yeah.
And remind me, you have it pulled up, what is Arizona State ranked as?
They're currently ranked 16.
That's weird, man. That's weird. I can't get my head around this.
I actually watched the College Football 25 show last night just for preparation of this moment.
The Arizona State game was wild, Bernie.
Cam Scadaboo is America's running back,
He
by
is.
the way.
He's watch it. That is. I took a class on those kind of sentences, my friend.
I'm just saying that guy. All right.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. If you know, you know. That's what I'll say on that one. But so, what's the deal? So Arizona State, but that's just a placeholder for now, right?
So yeah, it's basically whoever wins that Big 12, I believe, is going to get in.
Okay.
And
whether they're ranked top 12 or
because
not.
Boise State is getting in.
Gotcha. Yes.
And they're in the top 12. They don't steal a spot from anyone, so it'd actually be the winner of the Big 12 who's going to be the spot stealer.
So Boise State is the at-large, but they're top 12, so it doesn't matter.
So then it becomes Arizona State is really the at-large because they're going to win, or whoever wins the Big 12 will most likely not be finishing in the top 12.
That's okay. Thank you for that. Well, if you didn't know, I just got educated here. This college football playoff is new to me. I thought I had mastered it, but I was focusing on the top 4 conference winners get the bye.
Yeah,
they don't get the bye though, do they?
Technically, Boise State would actually have a bye right now
because they're the higher ranked conference winner.
They're the 4th highest ranked conference winner.
That is crazy. I kind of love it. I'm not gonna lie. I
love that teams are getting home games.
Yeah,
that's what I love. I wish it was more than 4 games though.
So then scrap that. But long story short, though, I mean Arizona State, they deserve it because they're the conference winner. But if it was 12, would you still put Clemson above Bama?
I think you have to.
Okay.
And then I think you have to hope that they lose to South Carolina.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's the right way to put it.
Because you can't put them ahead of Bama. But you can surely hope that they lose and then Bama gets to overtake them. But even then, you're in a sticky situation because then, all right, why isn't South Carolina in instead of Bama? Mm-hmm. They're 15 right now. They're 8-3. They're gonna finish with the same record.
All they do is win. They keep winning. I'm waiting for them to fall. And
Lenora Sellers.
This is tough, man.
He's got the rec specs on too.
Corey's got a great question because this was a big issue. Oh man, I can't remember what year it was. Where it was basically you got penalized for. Teams that sat at home were rewarded.
This was a big topic on the show last night.
Yeah.
Teams getting penalized for making the conference championship and then losing. They're going to be a team like Texas A&M.
Yeah, okay.
If they win against Texas this week and then lose in the SEC championship game, they should not be held responsible for losing that championship game. They should just be rewarded for beating Texas and getting in. I don't know how they're going to walk that line, and I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. I don't even blame the committee, but there is no way the committee gets this right, and I don't think there is a way of getting it right. I don't blame them, but there is no correct answer this year.
It's a whole lot better than...
I think people just have to accept that.
And I think you're right about that. I think you are right about that. And I think you nailed it with that Texas A&M comparison because I would agree with you. If that happens, you can't penalize Texas A&M for losing in the conference
because then they're going to... Or Georgia's in the same boat, too. Georgia's going to get into the conference championship.
Yes.
But if they lose to Texas or Texas A&M, what are we doing?
Well, if Georgia loses, I think it's different because they've already lost so many games. If they've
lost 2 games.
They've lost 2 games?
Georgia's lost 2 games.
It feels like more, man. You're right. It feels like more the way that they've been playing.
So that would be their 3rd loss in a conference championship?
Mm-hmm. It's tough. It's a good question.
Now, an interesting stat they said yesterday is in the 10 years of the college football playoff, 22 teams have finished in the top 12 with 3 losses.
Okay.
So it should go to show you that there will be 1, maybe even 2, 3-loss teams that do get into the field this year.
I think there will definitely be 2.
Which I think there should be. I don't think that Clemson should get in with two losses over a 3-loss Bama.
No, absolutely not. I will say the one positive thing is I feel like Indiana's safe no matter what.
I want to see them in it.
I want to see them in it.
I want to see them in it, and then I would love to see them play well. I really would. Do I think they're going to play well? Probably not.
Nah.
I would love to see them play well. I'm a big fan of Signetti. I also think it's just a good thing to have him in there because if they get blown up this year in the playoff after letting him in, it can set an example for the future so that we never have to go through this with them again.
Oof, that hurts, man. Now, I will say they can win this game against Purdue by a wide margin. They could potentially even earn a home game in that playoff, which I think would change.
That'd be cool.
Lot.
I would love to see it happen. And I would love to see them play well. But, I mean, you tell me, if they lined up against Bama right now, who's going to win that game?
Bama would smoke them, I think.
Bama would smoke them.
And that's with Bama, not even the playoff.
So I think it just comes down to I'd love to see them in there. I hope they succeed. But if they don't, which I expect they won't, then at least we kind of know what we're working with going forward. Again, this is the first year. These teams are all in really they're guinea pigs for this format. So when it comes down to that, I think it sets a good precedent. You know,
pretty
get
rich
Indiana
guinea
in there.
pigs.
Get Indiana in there. Wish for the best. I wish them all the best of luck. I wish they took down Ohio State last week.
Yeah,
and then
my wallet
let's not let this happen again.
All right, so yesterday we did this food or Thanksgiving comparison to NFL players or teams or whatever, and I had so much fun doing it. I wanted to run it back today with a few I'll throw at you. All right, let's start over here with the Thanksgiving food comparisons. Number one, the stuffing. You got anything off rip, or do you want me to take this one first?
You take the first one.
All right. So for the stuffing, this on today's edition, you know, the stuffing to me, it's not sexy. That's for dang sure. You see that in the box. Sometimes it comes out. It's like, what am I even looking at? But you know, you put some gravy on it. You mix it up with everything. It is an integral part, an essential part of the Thanksgiving dinner, in my opinion.
I have a great answer now.
And it doesn't get any credit, really, when you're talking about Thanksgiving foods and stuff like that. To me, it's the Chiefs' defense. Because this is a Chiefs team that, you know, Mahomes this, Mahomes that, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, woohoo, you know? There's a lot of different things to look at.
Swift in there, huh?
Yeah, of course, because this is the narrative around the Chiefs every year.
I don't know. They've taken it down this year.
Yes, that's true, because they haven't been as good, I think, as well with Travis Kelce.
They're 10-1.
But the stuffing, till Travis Kelce hasn't been as good. The stuffing with the Chiefs here, the defense, they won that Super Bowl last year on their defense.
Oh, they've been a defense-first team now. This is, I think, the third consecutive year.
This is exactly what I'm saying.
Steve Spagnuolo is doing an unbelievable job.
The defense this season is really, you know, pretty much the only reason that they are 10-1. It's been the defense and Andy Reid a lot more than I think it's been Patrick Mahomes and the weapons this season.
I'm going to say one thing on that because I do love the Chiefs defense and I think they do deserve a lot of credit. The possession football the Chiefs play does play a big part in the effectiveness of their defense. Mahomes, he might not be lighting up the stat sheet. Their situational awareness, their ability to eat up time of possession and play field position, not turn the ball over, does keep their defense propped up on a pedestal, if you will. They're great on their own, but the situational awareness of that team does help them do so.
We got a couple of stuffing votes. Corey says Tomlin, and then Shane says Mike Tomlin is the gravy. I like that.
Me and Byrne have the same answer. I was gonna say special teams. Special teams is the stuffing.
For all teams around the board?
In the NFL.
Okay.
How many games have we seen come down to special teams this year? The Bears have lost multiple just off special teams.
They almost won one, though, last week.
The Commanders just lost one based off of special teams. Yep. They might have just knocked themselves out of the playoffs for what I'm concerned. So it's not sexy. Teams, figure out your special teams. We're paying our special teams coaches well into the six figures. We've got guys making $500,000 a year just to be gunners in the NFL. Let's figure this out, guys. No more block kicks. Let's hit our 45-yarders, all right?
Take care of the stuffing. Put a little gravy on it. Eat some stuffing. It's delicious stuff. It's not sexy, but man, is it an integral part of the Thanksgiving dinner.
Let's do our job. There are three facets to the game. Don't forget it.
Speaking of doing your job, how about the drunk uncle at Thanksgiving? Now, I personally, in my life, I've never had the drunk uncle, and there's a famous saying, if you don't know the drunk uncle at Thanksgiving,
you are the drunk uncle.
You are the drunk uncle at Thanksgiving, and I'm sure I'll be in that territory very soon one day. However, in this realm of the NFL, the drunk uncle to me, you know, he's usually crazy. He's going on yelling about something that's probably irrelevant a little bit, but sometimes, you know, different drunk uncles, they actually know what they're talking about, but you kind of wave them off like, get out of here, you drunk uncle.
You think about it the next day.
You think about it the next day, you're like, you know what? He sounded a little crazy saying it,
something here.
But he might have been onto something. There's a new drunk uncle in the NFL, and Benjamin, do you have that picture ready to roll? Yeah. All right. I'm going with Bill Belichick as the drunk uncle now in the NFL. Because when he was coaching the Patriots, he was big and scary. Oh, he's mean and gruff. Now that he's getting paid to talk, He's yapping and yapping away. He's got this weird 24-year-old girlfriend. Come on, it's weird. Let's call it what it is. It's weird.
I don't think there's anything weird about succeeding late in age.
I agree, but it's weird. It looks weird. And he's got let's get this picture of Bill Belichick on the Manning cast. If anyone didn't see this, look at what he's got. I don't know if you can see it there. It says on that page, he printed out a Gmail that says, forwarded, Manning cast questions. That is a drunk uncle move right there. He might spit some wisdom, but he printed out the hard copy of Manning cast questions.
That's awesome.
And he's just looking at them live on Monday Night Football.
Look at how comfortable he is. He's just kind of reclined. He's got the one earbud in. I love to see, I hate Bill Belichick's guts. I'm going to be completely honest. That guy ruined my life.
I love Bill Belichick,
That guy ruined the first 21 years of my life. But that being said, I'm very happy to see him succeeding in all ways of life currently, professionally, personally.
Man.
It's good to see.
And Shayna, that's a good call. Like the Nick Saban, that's a good call. These great coaches who now they're like, they're probably having a couple Mai Tais before their shows, a little scotch, and they're like, yeah, but when I was doing it, instead of these yuppies.
Kendrick Perkins is the NBA
equivalent. Oh, that's a good one. But that's the bad drunk uncle, in my opinion.
Yeah, except I like Kendrick because he also believes that the Knicks are the best team in the NBA.
You know what? D-Ro Dad might have one-upped me. What's yours, by the way, for drunk uncle? Do you have one?
I think it might have to be Kendrick Perkins.
Okay. D-Ro Dad says Rex Ryan. That's better than mine, I think,
that's a good one, too.
Because Rex Ryan never won anything, and he's still yapping about it
I'll put it on the record right now.
Uh-huh.
Give me Rex back.
I don't think you're getting
I want Rex back. What do you make it happen?
Oh,
Give
no
me sexy
shot.
Rexy. Give me sexy Rexy.
The only way that would happen, I think, is they hired him for the last 3 weeks to sell a couple tickets or something like that.
No, I want him for the full season. Everyone talks about, you didn't win any. The Jets didn't win anything when Rex was the coach. It's the last time we made the playoffs. We have the longest playoff drought in sports right now. He didn't do anything. The most success we've had in the 25 years. Rex wouldn't say yes.
Rex isn't saying yes.
Rex has already openly said, I want to do it.
No, he has?
Look it up.
He looks so happy on that.
Look it up. He said,
I don't believe
it's on the record in multiple places. He said, I would be honored. I want to do it. I hope I get an interview.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Look it up.
I'll believe it when I see it.
We were looking it up as soon as we get into the streaming room.
I'm not saying he hasn't said it, but I think it might be lip service. Why would you? He's getting paid so much money to just sit there on the desk and talk about football with his fake teeth.
Because he's a Jet. It's in his blood, like it's in mine.
Awesome. He's a Jet.
We need one of us. We need one of us in there. Give me Rex Ryan and give me him now, Woody. You old bag.
Give me Rex Ryan, head coach, Matt Stafford, offensive coordinator, Darrelle Revis, defensive coordinator. Just get the whole gang back together.
Give me people who want to win games, who are going to run the ball, who aren't going to just flop around for the media. I want someone to curse out the guy in the media. That's what Rex is going to do.
You're going to eat a bleeping snack. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Johnny's with you. He says, Rex Ryan bleeds green.
That's what it's about. I need a fat, drunk guy to coach my football team. No more in shape. No more former players.
No more GQ Sala.
No more meal plans. No more jawlines. Fat guys, big hats, hoodies, and winning football.
Yes. Now we're talking. Speaking of fat guys here, how about a good old pumpkin pie? And that is our last comparison to Thanksgiving. You got a nice old pumpkin pie. Rothschild, do you want to let me take this one first?
You go first.
All right. The pumpkin pie. People go crazy about pumpkin pie. Hell, the second that the 10 on the month, the calendar, 10-1 comes to the calendar. Oh, it's pumpkin this at Starbucks. Oh, I go to Aldi. They got a whole pumpkin section over here. To be honest, I can't stand it. I don't like pumpkin at all. But for so many people, it's the belle of the ball. That's the chef's kiss, the final touch of your Thanksgiving. You close it out with a dollop of whipped cream on top. Oh, I love pumpkin pie. But you know what happens after Thanksgiving?
You never want to see it again.
All of a sudden, pumpkin pie becomes just that. Turns into a pumpkin when the clock strikes midnight on November.
And who's eating pumpkin?
Who's eating pumpkin?
Pumpkin.
The pumpkin pie of the NFL is Josh Allen. And
Matty Ice, I hope you're not listening.
I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, especially our producer, Benjamin Pero. But during the NFL, during the cold months, during your October, during your November, pumpkin's all the rage. Josh Allen going for an MVP season. Wow, the Bills look very legit. And then all of a sudden, the months start to turn to January, to February even. No one wants pumpkin in January. No one certainly would even dare think about pumpkin in February. And I'm sorry to the Bills fans out there, to me, that is Josh Allen, because when November, let's for this case in the NFL, December ends and that clock strikes midnight, turns back into a pumpkin. The pumpkin pie turns back into a pumpkin. That's Josh Allen to me. What do you got, Rothschild?
I'm going to take my pumpkin pie to the NBA, and I'm going to say the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is the most.
Couldn't help but get the NBA in here.
This is the most fraudulent start to an NBA season I've ever seen. Darius Garland, smelly. Donovan Mitchell, he's good.
He's really good.
He's really good.
He's really good.
But that team is going to fumble, and I can't wait to watch it happen right in front of my eyes.
So you're going with the theme of October, November. It's all the rage.
They're red hot in November.
Okay.
Everyone wants a piece of those Cavs right now.
So we're two anti-pumpkin pie guys here,
everyone's signing up for Donovan Mitchell MVP stock. Oh, are the Cavs legit? Are they the best team in the East? Are they gonna take? Are they the team that's gonna give the Celtics a push? No, they're not. And that's all I'll say about that.
All right, we got one more fun little top five. We didn't even get to the Blake Snell news. We're gonna be talking about Blake Snell and more sports Thanksgiving stuff all day. Guys, we got 3 breaks in our store right now. Hop on in. We're going to be ripping all day as we lead you into Thanksgiving. We got Feast Week. We didn't even get to college basketball plays and stuff like that. We'll be discussing that all day. I'm going to close this out here, Rothschild, with my little top 5. It started to be the top 5 at 8:45, but we're going to have to change the timing of this or something like this. The way that our show's been going today, we went a little extra long. We were so fired up today. I love it, Rothschild. It'll be like the top 5 at 9:25 today. Yesterday, we did the top 5 best things about Thanksgiving. Today, I'm going to do the top 5 worst things about Thanksgiving.
This should be good.
All in all, I love Thanksgiving, but it's funny to talk about things that annoy me. Honorable mention.
We do it well.
For Thanksgiving. Well, never mind. Actually, number 5, the Thanksgiving parade. I hate the Thanksgiving parade. I'm sorry. I think it's stupid.
If I have to see a blow-up Charlie Brown one more time, I'm going to puncture a hole in it.
How many times can they do it? And they do the commentary team there. It's like, oh, wow. And Trolls 2 was great this year, wasn't
it's 121 feet long.
Yeah,
it weighs 61.8 ounces. And it currently has 33 people carrying it through the streets of New York.
Oh, and there we see it. Oh, it's Papa Smurf going to fight off Gargamel again. What a great movie this was this year,
and
right,
here
Katie?
come the Rockettes.
Oh, my God.
If you haven't signed up to see them in Broadway yet, it's truly a one-of-a-kind show. Bring the whole family.
Who cares about the Thanksgiving parade? It's not for the kids anymore. The kids are watching Skibbity Toilet these days. You know what I mean? They don't care about Thanksgiving parades.
Where's the Rizzler?
Yeah, if the Rizzler's in the Thanksgiving parade this year, I will eat my words. But I don't know who the Thanksgiving parade is for anymore. The Thanksgiving parade stinks. I'm sorry. I will not be waking up and watching it. Number 4, and I actually don't experience this, but I have witnessed this at other Thanksgivings before, and I've heard tell about it. It's when you have to talk sports with a relative that doesn't really know sports. And you don't want to just be like, what the hell are you talking about, Uncle Steve? Uncle Steve actually a big sports guy. But it's just the worst when, you got guys like us who are freaks, we're absolute losers, we're nerds when it comes to it. And then you got someone trying to talk sports with you, and you don't want to just dunk on them, and you don't want to be rude, and you're just kind of like, yeah, that Skeens guy is something, huh?
Well, the things about that sucks about this, and I'll keep this short, is that we are totally in the wrong. Mm-hmm. People like me and you are totally in the wrong because we're trying to socialize with normal people at a holiday, and we're ranking it here on a list, saying that we don't like talking to these people on Thanksgiving because they're not messed up in the head like us, tracking sports. But you know what? Yeah, it cracks the top 5 for me as well.
It does. And I go to my girlfriend's Thanksgiving and stuff like that. You got the other boyfriends there, and the one guy is like, God bless him. He's a great guy, but he'll be like, he'll try to talk something, and I'm like, dude, I can't do this.
I don't want to hear
this.
What I mean? I'm sure you're a great guy, and you could lecture me on stock.
It's like, yeah, that Saquon's really looking good, huh? And then he'll try to throw something back. It's just
thanks, genius. Appreciate it. Thanks,
man. We could talk about anything, but don't.
It's fine if you just don't talk to me at all. I'm fine just sitting here and shutting up.
Number 3, the bad food dish. And there's always one of them. There's good cooks in my family. I'm actually pro turkey, for the record. I see D-Rodad making a comment. I know it's a very polarizing topic of Thanksgiving. There's always just one dish at Thanksgiving that's not great. And it's like, everyone's at the table, and everyone's like, oh, this is great. It's like, oh, your vegetable lasagna is great, Aunt Dory. Yeah, no, I love the recipe, and you just got to kind of cough it through.
Oh, is
that red pepper in there?
Is that I couldn't help but notice you put about 2 pounds of spinach in this dip.
Jason says thoughts on green bean casserole. Green bean casserole is divine. I love green bean casserole. Those crispy onions in there. But turkeys, Dallas Cowboys, and proteins. Yikes.
I thoroughly agree with that.
Yikes! Yeah, with gravy, it's delicious. Dak Prescott would be the gravy then on that. Number 2 for me, and this might just be a personal thing because it's happened to me many times. It's spilling at the Thanksgiving table. Now, I understand that not a lot of you can relate to this. Spilling's bad enough. I'm a clumsy guy. Yeah, you see me sometimes handling these cards over here. I don't know what I'm doing. When you are on glass of wine number 5, and you're getting into these Cowboys arguments, and then you knock it over at the whole Thanksgiving table, your night's over, man. You got to go into the cone of shame for a good hour.
Oh yeah, no, that's the part where you go outside and take a phone call.
You take a phone call? What? You cry? Sounds like you're ripping sinks out there.
No, you sit in the car for 5 minutes and you have to recollect yourself, regather yourself. All right, how do I recover from this? It's
so embarrassing. You see these people once a year sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, that's
what they're going to be thinking about for the next year. You spill it at the Thanksgiving table.
You're judged off of how you bounce back from failure, and that's one of those key times, Josh. So I challenge you this Thanksgiving to bounce back from failure if it smacks you in the face, as I do to myself as well.
Number 1 for me, this is going to get me a lot of flack, and I'm nervous to say it, but I hate this so much. It means it's the start of Christmas season. And no, I do not hate Christmas. I am a Christmas lover. What I hate is the 30 days of Christmas that ensue the second that Thanksgiving ends.
I would argue it's already started.
It drives me bonkers, Aaron. I cannot stand the Hallmark movies, the bad Christmas music, the commercials shoved in your face from the second that Thanksgiving ends, from before Thanksgiving ends, honestly. Now, if you want to give me some Christmas tunes, a little Santa Claus is coming to town on December 15th, I am all for it. If you want to start wearing your Santa hat,
give me Frosty the Snowman.
Give me Frosty the Snowman, and this is coming from, he's Jewish, I'm half Jewish over here. We can acquiesce. It's a fantastic holiday. It's my number 1 holiday. Don't get me wrong. But do not give me the Marshmallow Time in a Winter on the November 29th. I can't handle it.
Down here in Florida, I'm getting really annoyed driving around in 75 and sunny to Christmas lights.
I'm with you, dude.
Can we knock
this
it
is
out?
what Bernie's saying. This is what Bernie's saying. People in my neighborhood with Christmas lights up already. The worst part is it's not even surprising to me. I've accepted this.
I'm not. I will never be surprised by the stupidity that I see each and every day. Actually, you know what? Stupidity is a strong word. So let me take that back. They're certainly not stupid.
And
to each their own in that regard. It's
Christmas.
Too much for me.
And don't get me wrong, I worked at a toy store in high school, so maybe this is where this is coming from. I was not always this way. The month-long Christmas music. Christmas music is a 10-day thing at the most. Even then, most of it stinks. I cannot handle everyone with the start of Christmas season, the people who make it their personality with the Instagram countdowns, days to Christmas. Imagine if we were doing this for a Mets opening day. Oh, wait.
Imagine I did this for Hanukkah.
Yeah. Come on now. You should. Now, number 1 thing is a small bathroom with tracing paper for toilet paper. As in
bad Thanksgiving things.
Oh,
I know exactly what you mean.
I get what he's saying.
A similar thing after Josh's 5th glass of wine ensues.
Oh boy, hey how are ya? Oh my word, robot. That was a good one, Rothschild. I like that one. I'll make it 6. Well, you got anything you want to get off your chest about Thanksgiving before we start ripping some cards?
No, I think I'd just like to say, if I don't see you before Thanksgiving, wish you and your family the best. Seriously, great time to be around friends and family. So really enjoy it while you can. Hope you guys all enjoy.
Oh, D-Ro, big fan. Whoever this is, must be just a normal, unbiased opinion right there. Thank you, D-Ro. And Bernie says talking politics always goes over well. It was not. I wasn't going to add that to the list. It wasn't worth it. It was too mainstream.
Yeah, that's an easy one. That's a layup right there.
It was too easy of a layup. I wanted to think a little outside the box. So much we didn't even get to today. We didn't even get to Blake Snell signing with the Dodgers. We are going to quickly break here for 30 seconds, sprint over to the other room, and start ripping some cards. But nevertheless, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This was a Thanksgiving Eve edition of Talkin Slab. Hope everybody is enjoying Thanksgiving, safe and cozy with their families, enjoying their turkey time, gravy, and of course, all that little red wine as well. A little Prosecco never hurt nobody, except for the people that hurt. Nevertheless, have a fantastic day, everybody. Thank you. For Aaron, did a fantastic job. Josh Safran here on Suncoast Sports, Talkin Slab. We'll see you in just a couple minutes.